Hi everyone, thanks for watching my YouTube channel. I'm just going to do a quick 5-minute video, hopefully no longer than 5 minutes, but you know my videos sometimes go on a little bit longer than they should. In this video here, what I'm going to do is see if we can trick the patch tool. Now I'm going to make a quick selection here. I'm just going to check because I did a wee practice run of that and I don't know if I've still got these things selected or not. So let's just cancel that just now, we're not needing that. So with the patch tool, what you do is you select an area, and let's just go into here first. I'm going to select this little bit here. So what you would do with the patch tool is, now I've got on normal, you might have it on content aware, either works. I think the normal for what I use it for works better for me, so I'll just stick to that just now. So this little darker area of skin here, if we just make a little selection of that, just drag the patch tool around it, basically all you do is you drag it to a new area, and once you've dragged it to an area you're happy with, you can drag it anywhere you want. But the best way to do it is to try and drag it to an area that's fairly similar in terms of lighting and texture. So I've made my selection there, we'll lift it, and you can see it's done a pretty good job. Excellent job. The other area here that I'm concerned with is this area here. You can see, hopefully you can see it on the video, there's some faint lines, and it's where the top has basically come into contact with the skin, and it's left little indentations. Now, if it's far too cold on a day, it'd be f***ing about and worrying about little things like that, because we know that there's a way we can do the repair in Photoshop. So let's just quickly make a selection around here. And you can be quite loose for your selection to start with. So we want to come as close as we can to the top without sort of going over and encroaching. Now, the patch tool, like any of the selection tools, if when you're making a selection, if you hold on the shift key, you can add it to your selection, like so. But if you hold down the alt key, you can subtract for the selection. And I'm just going to get rid of this a little bit up here. We don't need that. Actually, maybe need a little bit more than what I've got. So once you've refined the selection to a size and shape you're happy with, again, we do the same thing. We just click in the middle of the selection and drag it to a new area. Again, trying to keep the lighting fairly similar. And let's go with that. Control and D to deselect. Now, the patch tool is great at matching texture, but it's not always aware of what you're looking for when you're matching color. And as you can see here, it's given a little dark blemishy type area. We could paint over that, we could do lots of different things, but I think there's a better way, and we can just confuse, or well, not confuse, because patch tool doesn't get confused. It's an inanimate item in your Photoshop. But what we can do is trick it. So let's undo that, and we'll go back to where we are here just now. And I'm going to take that selection off, and I'm going to get the pen tool. Now, the reason we're using the pen tool is basically I can make a quick selection with the pen tool, and I can change it afterwards if I want to. Now, the trick we're making this work is not letting the patch tool just go to there, to there, and I'll close up that selection. If you say right click and make selection. Now, before I make the selection, I'm just looking, there's nothing, there's like a little bit of gap between all this selected areas. But the gap I'm talking about is where the edge of the skin stops and the black at the top starts. I've left a tiny little gap. It's quite insignificant. We don't need to have a complete, you know, area where the selection is actually sitting on the top or on the skin. So right click and make selection. And I've got a 1 pixel radius feather, and that just gives you a little bit of breathing space as well. So what I'm going to do here, I'm going to add a mask, and I'm going to add a mask and hide all this here. So if we hold the Alt key down, if I was just to add a mask now, it's going to hide everything else and leave just this area shown. I want to do the opposite of that. I want to hold the Alt key down, and I'm going to add a mask here. And that now, that's all you're seeing. Top is hidden, it's still there, it's just hidden behind a mask. Now we're going to go back to the patch tool, And again, I can now be quite loose with the selection over here, and we're just going to go over just wherever I see the discoloration I want to get rid of. And again, I'm just going to add a little bit more into the selection now. I mean, you could take time and just not be so hap or hash-handed with your selections. But I'm quite happy with that there. That's all the discolored areas, a little bit stretch. It's really just where the fabric stretched and it's kind of left a little mark on the skin. And the same thing with the patch tool, we just now click inside the selection and drag it up. Now, one of the problems I'm seeing straight away, Control Z, is I'm not actually on the layer that I need to be on. I was on the mask. So basically all I was doing was moving the selection that in a mask. So now we're on the skin where we need to be. I'm just going to left click and drag it up. And again, we're trying to proximity match the light, texture, things like that. And then we'll let it go. And Control D. And there you go. There you go. If we now turn the mask off, you'll see along the skin, there's virtually no discoloration. If we drop that back to there, nothing that you're ever going to see. And if we did think it was a little bit dark, maybe we thought, oh, actually, that little area is still showing a little bit dark, we can do various things. We can add a little curve layer. We can just lift that up a little fraction. Control and I will invert the mask and hide it. B for the brush will give you the brush tool, and we could just draw in a little bit lightness into that area that's dark. But most importantly, there's none of that big massive contamination that was happening earlier on. Just get that a little bit light there. So it's just there. So there you go, folks. That's a 5-minute tip on a Monday, only because we like Monday tips. I might do another one next week on Monday, or I might do it on Tuesday, and therefore that will become a Tuesday tip.